There you go.
Hey traders, Cousin Vinny coming to you on September the 7th, Sunday, with a quick video explaining the Kirby. This is a chart of Himax Technologies, which we've traded recently. We still have the position on. We took it prior to the earnings release after the stock had built this nice base right here, the blue shading. If you look at the levels on the left side of the chart, this histogram depicts prices traded inside of this price range. So for this bar here, these dashed lines between $8 and $8.77 built this Kirby bar, or volume by price bar more precisely. The Kirby really occurs right in here. But I use the Kirby to denote as an alert for traders to pay attention to price action. The Kirby is nothing more than a vacuum cleaner manufacturer, along with other companies like Electrolux and Hoover. The term was coined by Ron Roll, aka GTO, aka GOAT, to describe the action that occurs when prices move into an area where a few sellers or buyers exist. This area right here, as we can see, there was very little volume traded as prices accelerated to the downside. There were no buyers here. So therefore, if there were no buyers, once these sellers are out of the way and prices base and turn back around, there's no overhead supply in this area right here of the Kirby. So prices typically get sucked into that area once they've tested it a few times. We did test this area here, this Kirby shelf, or volume by price level. You can see we tested it here in early August, moved sideways, flagged, tested it again, moved sideways, and now we're finally breaking into the Kirby. So where there's a lack of sellers or buyers in this case, no buyers to the downside here, there's no sellers to the upside now. There are only buyers that keep buying the levels as we keep exceeding resistance levels. So the next level that we need to look at is this area right in here. So for Himax, that's where our targets are, the 50% retracement from this low to those previous highs back in March are right here at around 1050. So we can anticipate resistance here. For now, the Kirby, this is this area here. Now let's look at another chart. We pointed out Google as a candidate for a reversal once we saw this overhead Kirby area, volume by price level, where there was a lot of buyers and sellers in this range right here. So we could see this is a possible area of resistance, and in fact that's exactly what happened in mid-August. We hit that level, came back down, we're putting in a higher low. With a stock like this, I would anticipate eventually we're going to break through that level, and once we surmount the top of this Kirby level, there is no overhead supply. So prices could catapult higher very quickly. Looking at a chart of FANG, Diamondback Energy, we talked about this level right here on Monday. As prices accelerated out of this descending channel, that we would see resistance here at the Kirby. That's in fact exactly what happened on Monday, as we mentioned that you should be taking some of your profits at that level. Had you done that or gotten completely out, you could have gone short, anticipating this as resistance. Now we're looking for an extension of this trend line, and you can see where buyers are stepping in now. We're retesting that trend line, and with stochastics recycling, we're setting up for a bounce right here on FANG. Spirit Airlines is another example I pointed out on this morning's blog post. Look at this very large area of volume by price bars where we saw a multitude of trades going on in this area. That's why this volume by price histogram is so large. Once we exceed this level, we have fewer sellers up here to resist price action. So you can see once we broke into this area, we quickly accelerated from $64 a share, $6 up to $70 before we saw any profit taking. We came back down, noticed the Bollinger Bands, started squeezing, volatility was tapering off. We found support again here at the volume by price or Kirby shelf that we see at this price level. We bounced, and you could have anticipated with a narrow Bollinger Band setup that you could see acceleration to the upside. That's exactly what happened once we got back above, or once we bounced and we were in this area of the Kirby. Now we're starting to see our Bollinger Band squeeze again. We have a support level here higher than the Kirby, and we'll more than likely see a break to the upside with stochastics already recycling. Perhaps it comes back down, recycles one more time, prices move sideways, we see these Bollinger Bands squeeze, and we see everything set up for us for another trade. So if you use the Kirby, that's just one more tool in your toolbox, utilizing this with a knowledge of patterns, which patterns work better than others, in this case a ascending triangle, the Bollinger Bands that are also working with us, and we have another pattern breakout that we can trade against. So use the Kirby wisely. Whenever I use the term Kirby in my future posts, now you'll have something to reflect on. Again, this is Cousin Benny coming to from theclosingprint.com, where we have a lot of videos, and this one here helps you with your trading a great deal. These three are the most popular, and this is how we use our scans to look for trade setups like we just mentioned on Save. We have Bollinger Band squeeze in here, we had it here as well. Learn how to utilize those videos to perfect your trading, and use the Kirby to make better decisions on entries and exits in the future. Take care. Talk to you soon.